Welcome to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to be talking about Helldivers 2 Warbonds and giving my personal thoughts. Now, I will preface this with the caveat that I don't have most of these Warbonds, so I'm not speaking really from personal experience, but I thought I'd just make a video sharing my thoughts on the things that I'm excited for, the Warbonds that I want to buy and the ones that I don't think I'll be buying anytime soon. So, if you want a more definitive guide from someone who has personal experience with all of these weapons and stratagems and things, sorry, my channel is not going to be the best place for that, but figured I'd just spew out some of my thoughts and throw this video up there and see what happens. So, starting off, we're going to talk about Helldivers Mobilize. This is the long 10-page free warbond that everybody gets. It's pretty underwhelming, but there is some stuff here. For example, on page 3, you get Hellpod Space Optimization. This is the best booster in the game. It is a must-have. Whether you're doing a one-man or a four-man mission, you almost always want to bring Hellpod Space Optimization, so that way you're dropping down with all of your stims, all of your throwables, not being handicapped every single time you die and reinforce. Now, aside from that, this warbond also gives you 700 super credits through its length. You get, on page 2, you get the Redeemer. This is an auto pistol that is pretty much just an upgrade over the default pistol. You get the Breaker. I used to use the Breaker a lot against bugs. It's fun. It's just it eats through ammo fast, and it only has light armor penetrating, and I tend to prefer a medium pen. The Scythe, not a fan of the Scythe. I like the Sickle a lot better. And the Impact Grenade, this is solid, a lot of people use that. You also get your Democracy Protects armor. This is still some of the best armor in the game. And you also get the Medkit armor, which is also really good. So you do get some really great armor perks. You get the Liberator Penetrator. This is a great gun that a lot of people use. Most of these other guns are kind of passive. The Scorcher on the last page, that's fine. I haven't used it a ton, but it's fine. The next warbond is Steeled Veterans. This is absolutely a great one. You get your Senator with heavy armor pen for a sidearm. I think it's the only sidearm with heavy pen. Liberator Concussive is absolutely a pass. It is bad, but you get the Breaker Incendiary and the Incendiary Grenades. These are really good, especially against bugs. And the Dominator. I'm a fan of the Dominator for sure. Next is Cutting Edge. This was the first warbond that I bought, and I bought it for the Localization Confusion Booster, which apparently at the time I bought it didn't even work, but now I think it's been fixed. What it does is it increases the time between enemy reinforcements being called by like 15%. So if you get a bug breach or a bot drop or Illuminate warp ships coming in, there's a set period of time before that can be triggered again and those reinforcements can be called. So this increases that time. And I do still bring it quite a bit, but it isn't really a game changer. You also get the Sickle. I'm a big fan of the Sickle. It's really fun and good on cold planets. You get the Punisher Plasma. I love this gun against bots. It used to be classified as a shotgun, and they changed it to energy based because it is a modified version of the Punisher, but it doesn't really bear any resemblance. It shoots these arcs of plasma that explode in these big balls. So it has medium pen, but then it also has explosive, which means it can penetrate heavy armor if you hit it in the right spot because of that explosive damage. So yeah, Punisher Plasma, it's great. Just no good at close range like a normal shotgun because it will kill you. The Blitzer is also fine. The Dagger is a horrible sidearm though, because you have to hold it for like a few seconds on even the smallest enemies to kill them. Next up is Democratic Detonation. This one gives you, this is what everybody says is the must-have warbond, and they're right, because it gives you the Thermite. Thermite is nuts. It does 2,000 damage, so this will one-shot a charger. You just gotta stick it. I think it almost one-shots an Impaler. It's just all around good. People are using it against Hive Lords because it's definitely the best grenade to go against Hive Lords. You just throw a ton on them and dish out you know, a not insignificant amount of damage. 2,000 is a lot compared to their 150,000. It's not that much, but it's still the best grenade. And if you all are throwing all of them on there, you do only get 3 by default as opposed to the default 4 with like normal grenades. But if you bring the armor, that gives you more throwables. Yeah, thermites are great. The expert extraction pilot booster from this Warbond. This is great for blitz missions since you're already running very short on time. Yeah, the armor from this with the engineering kit passive, that gives you more throwables, so that's good for having more thermites. The eruptor is really good. Yeah, it's more of like a long range weapon. It's a bolt action, but it does lots of damage, heavy pen and explosive. You get the grenade pistol, which is great for closing bug holes, because maybe you bring the thermite instead of regular grenades. Well, thermite sucks at closing bug holes, and you only get 3 of them, so that's why you want the grenade pistol. And the exploding crossbow is so good, and it's one-handed. So yeah, democratic detonation is definitely a must-have Warbond. Next up was Polar Patriots. So now we're getting to the ones that I don't own. Polar Patriots is just an easy pass for me. There's like nothing in here that appeals to me. Actually, because I was deciding recently which Warbond I should buy next. And I made a list of, the things in each Warbond, which is kind of what I'm going to be talking about in this video. The things in each Warbond that appealed to me and that you might want to take note of when you're making your decision about which ones to buy. There's just nothing here. There's a basic light armor pen AR. There's a basic light armor pen pummeler SMG. Like we already have, by this point in the game, you're already going to have an AR and an SMG. They do very similar things. They don't do anything special. The incendiary impact, that's fine, I guess. That might honestly be better than the regular incendiary, so that one might be kind of nice to have. Because I've been running the regular incendiaries against bugs, but I bet impacts will do better. You get the purified, which definitely is decent, and then you get a basic medium armor pen at least pistol. Yeah, and I'm just not a fan of this scout armor passive either. So there's just not much in this Warbond for me. And then we've got Viper Commandos. Viper Commandos gives us the Peak Physique armor passive, which increases your melee damage by 100%. Unfortunately, there's no melee weapons in this pass, but this is one of the 2 must-have armors if you want to do a melee build. This one also gives you the Bushwhacker. This is a shotgun sidearm with 3 barrels. So that seems really cool. You can just dump them all into something that's on top of you. And the best thing, honestly, from this Warbond, you get some really cool camos, of course, but you get the Experimental Infusions booster. This is kind of a must-have booster. If somebody in your team has this, you want to bring it, because you stim, and you get increased movement speed and damage reduction. It just massively increases like how good your stims are, and it's really good in a pinch. Then we've got Freedom's Flame. I might get the order of these wrong because I'm going back and forth between the ones that I bought and not, so please forgive me if that happens. Freedom's Flame is really cool because you get just tons of fire stuff. You get the cookout. This is a fire shotgun, but if you have the breaker incendiary from Steeled Veterans, I honestly don't know. I feel like the breaker incendiary is better, but I mean, they're both fire shotguns. You of course get the inflammable armor from this, and that gives you 75% damage reduction for fire damage, so that is a must-have if you're doing a fire build. And if you're interested in doing an all fire build, I will, by the time I put out this video, I'll already have it out or be coming out soon with a meme build video with builds like fire, gas, arc, melee, laser, and stun. You also get the Torture. That's like a mini flamethrower primary, and you get a fire sidearm, the Crisper. So if you like fire damage, this is the one for you. Chemical Agents. This is basically the fire warbond except with gas. So you get a gas grenade, you get the sterilizer. This is the first warbond where they introduced stratagems in the in warbonds instead of just being able to get them for free, which I definitely am not a fan of. I think all of the stratagems should be accessible just by leveling up and spending rec slips on them. But hey, this one gives you the sterilizer, basically just a flamethrower with gas. The stim pistol, which can be good, but it's pretty tricky to actually use it properly. And the dog breath guard dog, which, you know, I don't know. I feel like there are better. There's plenty of guard dogs in the game at this point, and the gas one is probably not going to be the best. But if you think a gas build would be a lot of fun, chemical agents is definitely going to scratch that itch. Next, I'll do Truth Enforcers. I bought Truth Enforcers solely for the drip, because, I mean, look at that exosuit pattern. Look at that Pelican, that FRV. I just wanted those vehicle camos so bad, because I think they're definitely the coolest. But this one also gave me the Reprimand, which I didn't realize I was going to love so much. The Reprimand is my go-to gun. I main this gun. It's a medium pen SMG. Now, it does have kind of a slow fire rate, but that's fine because it packs a punch. The only real downsides are that it eats through ammo and it has a long reload speed, which is why I bought my most recent Warbond, Urban Legends. I bought this because of the Siege Ready perk. It increases reload speed of primary weapons by 30% and increases ammo capacity of all weapons by 20%. So this basically fixes the problem with the Reprimand. The only downside is that Siege Ready only comes on a light and a heavy armor in this Warbond. And even in the Superstore, I think it's a heavy armor. So I don't think there's any medium armor with this perk, which sucks because I always run medium. So I've been using this light armor to make the Reprimand a lot better, but I just get absolutely bodied. But also, this one gave me the Stun Lance, which will be fun. I just don't have either of the armors that increase melee damage, so it won't be remotely usable or good until I get those armors. You get the Directional Shield, which seems like kind of just an upgrade over the Ballistic Shield. I think maybe the Ballistic Shield is better if you're doing like a Knight build with melee weapons, whereas the Directional Shield is for ranged weapons. I don't really know how exactly the two differ. You get the Flame Sentry. You get Armed Resupply Pods. These are really good for defense missions where you're just sitting in one spot. You just keep calling in resupplies and the enemies breach the gate and all those Liberators are ready to go. Because unlike normal sentries, these don't have a lifetime. Those Liberators remain there until they run out of ammo or are destroyed. And you get the anti-tank emplacement. This is definitely the best thing in this Warbond, probably even better than the armor perk, because this thing does so much damage. It's especially good on like defense missions. You can use this to take down, Illuminate warp ships and bot drop ships. You can just hammer big enemies with this. So I'm really excited to unlock and try that one out. Servants of Freedom. The main appeal for me for this one is the double-edged sickle, since I'm a big fan of the sickle. Double-edged sickle is kind of just better. Now it does have the downside of setting you on fire if you shoot it for too long, but its damage and like armor pen also goes up. I don't know if the damage goes up. I know the armor pen goes up as you're holding a sustained beam and then you catch yourself on fire, but I think it looks really cool. I'm excited to try it out. The armor though, the integrated explosives, that is just not good because you're just gonna kill people. You are gonna kill your teammates with that. If you die and then the armor just blows up, yeah. But I guess if you were doing a solo diving thing, maybe this would be good. Because it also gives you more throwables, so you can get more thermite. The Ultimatum. Now this is a secondary weapon, and this is just like a mini nuke. So this thing is crazy. It is one of the only things that can close Bile Titan holes. It does crazy damage, 3,000. If you bring the supply pack, you get a bunch more rounds. Yeah. This is definitely an appeal of this Warbond. And then the Portable Hell Bomb, another of the only things that can close those Bile Titan holes. And Yeah, this is just in general. This is like the best way to kill the Hive Lord. This thing is nuts. Seeker grenades, I don't think I've ever seen anyone using them. I have no idea if they're worth it at all. Borderline Justice. There isn't really anything that appeals to me here. I don't really care about the Deadeye. But the Talon, especially, the Talon looks like a really good sidearm, especially if you want to do like a laser build. It's way better than the other laser sidearm, the Dagger. So the Talon looks great. Yeah, the armor is super underwhelming. Dynamite just doesn't seem good at all. Sample extractor, yeah, get extra samples from large enemies. I don't think I've ever actually played with anyone who's used this, but maybe there's some appeal there. And the hover pack, one of my friends uses this a lot, and it definitely seems pretty useful. But Borderline Justice definitely isn't a top tier one for me. Masters of Ceremony. This has a really good armor perk, Reinforced Apachelettes. You increase reload speed of primary weapons by 30%, and you get increased melee damage and chance to avoid limb injuries. But yeah, so this is good if you're doing a melee build. It's just good in general because of that reload speed increase. And this actually comes in medium armor compared to the Urban Legends armor. You get the Saber, so if you want to do a melee build, sword's super cool. One True Flag is just a meme. It does nothing. It's just a flag, but it's funny. Sample Scanner could be nice to get some extra samples. Pyrotech, I think there's people who say this is really good, but I don't think I've ever actually played with someone who's used it. Force of Law, yeah, there's nothing here for me. This is so underwhelming. You get an AR with stun damage, and I don't care about stun. I'd rather just kill my enemies. Stun just really isn't that good. The De-Escalator, support weapon that like shoots arc grenades. Stun pods, so when the hell pods come down, they stun things around them. Yeah, this just, I don't care about any of this. I don't care the Urchin or the Guard Dog K9. Nothing really here to appeal to me. Control Group has some fun stuff for sure. The Variable definitely looks fun to try out. The Epoch, I don't know if they fixed it. Well, in that clip there, the person blowing up, that's not broken. That's how it's supposed to work if you charge it for too long. But I know like it aims super inaccurate for no reason. So I don't know if that is fixed now. But it looks like there's some appeal there. But the Laser Sentry also apparently doesn't work well because I guess there's just tons of enemies around it. It just keeps shooting them and until it overheats and blows up. So it's not really good compared to other sentries. Arc grenades, don't really care. Warp pack though looks fun. This is really good if you're farming super credits solo. You can just warp in and out of a bunker, so you don't need 2 men to open the door. And this can also be used in a melee build. The Halo Warbond. This one, I bought it because I'm a huge Halo fan, but if you're buying it for actual like in-game purposes, it's not good. This is solely if you want to look like an ODST, let's be honest. The AR is decent because it has medium pen. The SMG is just terrible. It was awful when I tried to use it. I don't know how well the suppression actually works, so maybe if you're trying to do like a stealth build, it kind of works, but it isn't good if you're not being stealthy, that's for sure. And the shotgun only having light pen, it just is underwhelming. Same with the pistol, like these guns just don't really do anything unique or exciting, and I feel like also because they can't level up, so you can't put attachments on them. So they just kind of definitely get outclassed when you're putting attachments to like lower the recoil and make other guns better. So I feel like these guns could definitely use a damage buff since they can't level up. And the brand new Warbond, Dust Devils. This one right now has the Coyote, which outclasses every other AR in the game by far. So highly recommend it. I mean, it's probably going to get nerfed, but if you want to try it while it's good, you should get this one. Yeah, the Coyote, it's a beast. You get the expendable napalm. This is your expendable anti-tank, but with napalm, so this seems pretty sweet. You get the spear gun, which I guess, I mean, I don't know the exact best use case for it. I don't think it's really crazy good, but spears do a good amount of damage. They can interrupt chargers while they're charging and then leave some gas behind. I think they can close bug holes as well, so there's definitely some appeal there. Get these nice desert skins. The solo silo doesn't seem very good though. To take up one of your stratagem slots for this, when you just get one shot and it doesn't do like anything, any kind of crazy damage, you're probably better off just bringing a 500 kilogram. And the pineapple grenade just looks awful. It doesn't seem like it really does anything. And again, so now that I've gone through all these war bonds, like, I need to state again, obviously I have not even bought most of these. I haven't used most of these things, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass here, but I'm giving my thoughts. These are the kind of things that I was thinking about when I was deciding which warbond to buy before I settled on Urban Legends. So I might actually make, I don't know, maybe I'll do a actual tier list at some point. But to give my thoughts again, if you're new, you should at least buy into Helldivers Mobilize until you unlock Hellpod Space Optimization on page 3. Steeled Veterans is solid. Cutting Edge, no, there's not really anything there you need. Democratic Detonation is absolutely the best. There's so many good weapons there, and a Thermite. Truth Enforcers, you get great armor and vehicle cosmetics, and I love the Reprimand, but nothing crazy there. Polar Patriots, pass. Viper Commandos, get a good booster, some good cosmetics. Freedom's Flame and Chemical Agents, if you want to do a fire and gas build, that's what you need. Urban Legends, highly recommend for the armor perk. Yeah, again, the only downside is that it doesn't come in medium armor. And also the anti-tank emplacement. Servants of Freedom, definitely recommend for the double-edged sickle and the ultimatum and the portable hell bomb. Borderline Justice, kind of a pass. Masters of Ceremony, decent armor perk, but not an essential one. Force of Law, definitely a pass. Control Group, kind of some fun, interesting things if you want to try them. Only get the Halo one if you're a big Halo fan and you want the ODST armor, because the guns aren't special. There's no booster. There's no grenade. Yeah. And Dust Devils right now is probably the best because it gives you the Coyote.